first episode of the PS5 podcast. My name is Faiz, and I'm joined by my wonderful castmates, Rohan.
Yes. Win this to win this. Let's go, y'all. I'm ready. Y'all ready?
Farhad.
I'm ready.
Daniel.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
And Theo.
Morning.
Morning to you too, sir.
So, unlike the rest of our shows, the podcast is going to give you a little bit more of an insight on who we are with a new topic of discussion every week. So for this week, gentlemen, it's all about the next-gen consoles. Now, believe it or not, it's been a week. Believe it or not, it's been a year since the consoles have been out. So before we dive into our experiences, let me give you guys a couple of quick facts about what has happened in the past year. So PlayStation 5 released in November 12, 2020. It's sold over 13.4 million consoles, and to this date, it's still pretty hard to actually get out in the wild. You're actually either following Twitter, the Twitter space, different Facebook groups, and so forth, just to be able to get your hands off one of these consoles, or unfortunately, if you're going through the scalpers, right? Xbox Series X and S, they released a little bit earlier, November 10th, 2020, and they have sold over 8 million consoles combined with 20 million subs to Game Pass. Now, this particular discussion is going to be broken down into 4 sections. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of quick tips. I want to hear your experiences on how you actually got the consoles, because I know 4 out of us actually have next-gen consoles. Which console you chose and why? Do you believe that the update itself has been worth it overall for any of the early adopters? Features you like and dislike, and finally, what your hopes are for the future. So now, with that said, I'm going to start off with you, Rohan. Walk me through your experience of what console you have and how you actually was able to get one of these.
Well, as most of you guys already know my story about like how I actually wound up with my PS5. When I got it was in the last summer, right? And I can't remember if it was exactly July. I think it was like mid-July I got mine. And it was very fortuitous. I actually just wound up at this mall called Scarborough Town Center. Those of you who know where that is. And I wound up at the Source. It's kind of like our Radio Shack kind of thing, right? In fact, they were Radio Shack, but
Circus City.
It's not. Yeah, right. And I actually just randomly asked one of the servers there, and they had a lineup, right? And I was like, well, let me shoot my shot, because like you said, Faiz, you still couldn't find a console, a PS5 anywhere. So I was like, you know what? Might as well ask. If you don't ask, you never get anything, right? So I was like, hey, by the way, I noticed you guys have a lineup. What, you have a PS5 back there or something? And so it's like, yeah, we actually have one. I'm like, I didn't believe the man. I straight up did not believe the man, right? And like the whole time, it was like, I was like, yeah, where'd you bring it out? Let's have a look. It was like, and the whole time I was waiting for this manager. He was actually a manager, right? There, and he's like, yeah, I'll be right back. The whole time I was waiting, I was like, yeah, this guy's just gonna be pulling some stunt just if he can like pull one over me, or just to have some fun. But now, sure enough, when he came back with a PS5, I was like, well, shit, now I have to buy it now. Like, this guy went all the way in the back, and I was thinking that it was just some freaking prank, some like long-winded prank. But like, no, it was actually legit. And I was like, you know what? No one could get their hands on this. I wanted a PS5 anyway, so I really did want one. Maybe not at that exact moment, but the opportunity was just too perfect. So I was like, yeah, ring it up, got it. And since then, that July. No, the previous July, right? So it was last summer, right? It was sitting in my closet.
You mean to say July 2021? Because the console came out in November, right? So you mean the one that just passed by?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like, because like I own y'all watching this are going to be like, what the hell is this guy on? It was sitting in my closet for the better part until when did you guys, you Fies and Theo, came over and set my stuff up, right? When
Quite
was
recently,
that? That was
like
Yes, you said July, whatever.
yeah.
no, it wasn't in July because no, you guys didn't come over to set up my my setup, right? My my TV and my actual and my entertainment center, right? Remember that was like in this October.
September, October,
yeah, it was September.
Oh shit.
Right? Yeah. So like it was sitting in my closet until that time. Right, that whole time it was actually sitting in my closet because I was just so invested in having the whole setup because like I didn't have an actual 4K TV or anything like that. I waited that whole time until September from like actually when I got it to that time when you guys actually came over to help me set my stuff up.
I have no idea how this man held off for that long, guys.
I just did it because like I wanted to be able to sit down and just bask in my 4K 65-inch TV and just be like, yes, my PS5 and the whole experience, and in that, it was worth it to have the experience of the actual PS5 and what games I've actually been playing so far, which are oh my gosh! You see, like I'm even drawing a blank. The games I actually haven't been playing for a minute.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that, right? But in terms of the actual experience, like actually my enjoyment of the PS5, I've been loving it, man. There's no loading screens.
All right.
Right. Just that in of itself.
Yeah, we'll come back. Don't topic hop. We'll give everybody a chance to talk. So let's.
All right. I guess I'm getting ahead. I guess I'm getting ahead, right? Like, yeah, but like in terms of the actual anticipation, right, and of what it actually has been delivering so far, oh hell yeah, man, it's definitely been worth it. So yeah,
excellent.
It's been good.
Brad, what about you? Walk me through it. Which console you have? What was your experience?
Well, I currently have the PS5, and the way I got it was basically it was like the day or like a day after it was like announced, and so like I don't know, I think it was you guys like, oh no, you can't order it yet. It's like tomorrow or next week, and then out of nowhere I get a text from you like near midnight, 1 a.m. It's like, no, you can get it now. You can get it now. Go order. Go. What the fuck? What the fuck? Where do I go? I searched Best Buy, this place, that place. And then I was just like, you know what, man, this is a Hail Mary. Let me go try Amazon. So I go on Amazon and I see it. It's like, it's in stock, but I had to like keep refreshing it. I had to keep refreshing it until like it finally came. And I was like, oh my God, I could get it. I ordered it. As soon as I ordered it, 5 minutes later, there's not in stock. But Jeffrey Bezos, he blessed me. He blessed me with a PS5.
he blessed you with the PS5 with the money that he used later on. To actually go off into the orbit, right?
Later on, I got also like it was delayed by a day of like when it was gonna come, and I got like $30 off. I'm like, hey, you know what? Thanks.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'll take a day off.
Yeah, but at least you got it around launch time, right?
Yeah, like literally, it was just a day late. I don't mind waiting a day. Everyone else got to talk about it, and like, you know what, guys, I saved $30.
So I have to ask, unlike Rohan, that waited for the experience. Did you just plug into your 1080p television, or did you wait until a 4K?
Oh, I plugged that shit into a 1080p. Even though it's not like obviously it's not the greatest fucking thing you can use.
Mm-hmm.
I had to use it, man. The PS4 was just not. It was just not cutting it anymore. Like it was just so slow. And like as soon as I plugged in the PS5, I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for.
So for all of you guys, none of you guys had the PlayStation 4 Pro, correct? I'm the only one that had the PlayStation 4 Pro. All of you guys were jumping on from either a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4.
I think mine was like a Gen
the only one.
Yeah, I was still PS3.
Okay.
I'm the only one that dedicated.
Okay.
PS3. Oh man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he skipped the generation.
PS4, like he could just skip me, bro.
He skipped that console. All right. So on that note, Daniel, which console do you have and your experience, sir?
Well, I, as the rest of us, got the PS5, and oh, what a journey it was! Oh boy! So the pre-orders started in September. I jumped on it the moment I could, and nothing. And every single pre-ordering stage they had, I tried every single time and was unsuccessful every single time. And then when it was finally released in November, I signed up for all these different websites and all these different alerts and email alerts and Twitter alerts. And anytime a store had any stock, I jumped on that website just to sit there in the queues for forever. It took me until February of 2021 to finally order it. And even then, it was a stroke of luck that I managed to get it that day. I mean, it was like I tried 3 other websites that day, and then one of them finally helped me out. I managed to get it. But I already had a 4K television. I had just a regular, I think a PS4 Slim at the time. But it was showing its age. The loading was taking a while for a lot of games. The fan got a little loud a lot of times. Like you playing a game, you're like, yeah. You like playing a game, it's like, what's that noise? Oh, okay. And the heat coming off that thing was brutal. I was so worried. I was like, Xbox used to have the red circle of death. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen to the PS4? It's gonna melt, isn't it? But
double as a space heater.
Yeah. But yeah, the moment I had it, I brought it right into the house. I opened everything up and I set it up right away. And there was no waiting. After waiting until February, I was like, no, I gotta try this. I gotta set it up.
Wow, fantastic. So Theo.
Waiting, huh?
Mm-hmm. Theo, on your side, currently you don't have any of the consoles, correct?
What do you mean I don't have any current? I don't have any of the current new next-gen consoles. So my closest one, I guess, would be the PS4, not the Pro, just a regular Slim. So I definitely don't have any stories to share of myself getting the console, the PS5. But I did remember all of you guys getting it, and it was absolutely fucking hilarious. Especially listening to the young lad cry in his corner every day about how every day he's checking every single news channel, every single outlet, every single source for PS5. And when he finally got it, he was so happy. And then it was like, in no time at all, Rohan just waltzes into the store straight up.
The contrast, yeah.
And the thing is, I remember he wasn't even sure if he wanted to get it. He called you. He called me.
Yeah, I forgot that part too.
He called and was like, "Yo, bro, should I do this? They have it. They actually have it. It's like I found a fucking unicorn. Should I catch it?" And we're like, yeah, catch the shit out of it.
Yeah. No, that's a good analogy. That's actually a very good analogy because Daniel was like a very good microcosm of like example of like how a lot of people were facing that struggle of trying to find a PS5.
He was ready to sell his body to like a smuggler.
I remember. I was telling him like, dude, street pharmaceutical. If you want to go down that road, that's great. It'll make you great money, but you don't have to go on fucking Dundas Square. That's basically
Streetwalker's Corner.
Exactly. And just stand there and do like, shimmy certain things that you don't want to just to get a PS5. That's not a good look, man.
I've been saving all of 2019.
I know.
The moment it was like the rumors were out, I was like, okay, it's gonna be expensive, so I gotta start saving. Right. I saved all year and I was ready to go at day one. And yeah.
No, but you're not the only one, bro. You weren't the only one.
So on that note, my journey for the PlayStation 5 actually, it's quite hilarious. Because when the conference came out, I think it was September 7th or September 17th, around there. It was very early in September. Conference came out, we were talking about it, we watched the conference, everything was great, they showed what the console looks like, but they never really talked about when the release date or the pre-orders will go live. And I know at that time they said that they're going to give ample amount of time for people to actually be able to sit down and order it because they knew the demand was high. So I remember taking a nap after the conference was done. I woke up, I started playing, I was almost done actually, Half-Life Alyx. So virtual reality, zero clue what's happening. On social media, my cell phone people were messaging me, no clue. 2 hours in, 9 o'clock at night, I take everything off and I notice Daniel's text. And he's like, pre-orders are live. And I was like, what? So then I go, because I had all the notifications on Best Buy, The Source, GameStop, any other like mom and pop shops and stuff that would offer email notifications. I had all of that on, even Amazon. No clue whatsoever until Walmart said, well, we're going to jump the gun and we're just going to start taking pre-orders. And everybody just started. So I go on the computer, I log in, I check The Source, it's available, I put it in the cart, and I just wait for half an hour. It's sitting in the cart, and I'm literally scrolling through all the different websites to see, oh, what different bundles do they have to offer? Check Best Buy. They weren't really showing up properly. Amazon didn't have it on. Walmart website was crashing. And GameStop, whenever I would go, they had the bundle with 2 controllers, which was exactly the same price. But that's the one that I was really looking at, because I'm like, okay, 2 controllers, we can sit down, we can play and all that stuff. And no matter how many times I would try to add that in the cart, it was just not working. So I'm like, okay, a lot of people are going through it, so I'll just end up going through The Source. Went back. It was in my cart for 30 minutes, guys. Went back. Ordered. No issues, everything's done, took the picture, sent it to you guys. Hey, next gen, we're here, whatever. Then I tell another friend who wanted to get it for her husband. She logged onto The Source. She bought the console. No issues whatsoever. And that was my experience. Until Farhad messaged that night and he was like, what the hell? I can't find this console anywhere. And then at midnight, Amazon went live, and I was like, go ahead. Because I remember talking to Daniel about it, and Daniel was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna wait a little bit, like a couple of days to order it until the rush started. And he's like, I can't find this anywhere. And he's the one that recommended The Source to me. But in terms of the consoles themselves, I do have a PS5. I also have an Xbox Series X. So that would be a really fun conversation to see like the difference and stuff. I think I'm the only one out of you guys that was able to manage to get a Series X, right? Daniel, you're interested in getting it. Farhad, you and I spoke. You're interested in Game Pass. Rohan, you're interested in Game Pass. Theo, you at the moment just staying away from next gen. No interest in next gen. Perfect. So on that note, to all us early adopters, has the jump been worth it? And for this, Farhad, I'm going to start off with you.
Has the jump been worth it? I would say yeah. It's basically everything I ever wanted a upgraded PlayStation 4 could be, because I was, PS4 was cool at first. I was like, oh my god, like it was good for the time, but like as the years was coming by, it's like, okay, when the fuck are we getting a new one at that point?
Exactly, since you didn't even have the Pro, so for you it was a massive jump, right?
It was a huge jump, and I like at the moment I plugged it in, I'm like, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted the entire time.
So did you notice like any graphical fidelity difference on a 1080p display?
Yeah, it wasn't obviously 4K, but like I could definitely tell the difference between like the PS4's like blurriness and like not really like crisp
the
image.
Textures and everything, right?
Yeah, but when I put in the PS5, it was like I still fucking loved it. Like even though it wasn't the 4K, it was still like really different compared to what I had before. And the controllers too. Like the controllers are honestly so cool. The haptic feedback and the dual sense. Like obviously I don't have it on for Call of Duty or competitive type games because I don't want to like hold down the trigger really hard to like shoot someone in the head when like they turned it off and they could just go down. But
see, that's something I didn't even notice because I don't do a lot of like I played the campaign, but actually playing any of you guys other than Farhad, do you guys play multiplayer online on COD?
COD. I used to live on COD Black Ops, but I have like right now not the new one, not the new COD that came out, the one before, right? Modern Warfare, right? I'm still like maybe in the first quarter of the campaign. And COD's like campaign is very underrated, but like just the online portion, it's too advanced. Like those guys who play at that level, I don't know how you do it, Farhad, bro. I really don't know how you do it, man, because like it's so like the what's it called, the skill difference is just too blown, right? So I can't really enjoy it like the way I did, because I don't play COD as much as I did to be it should be competitive. But like yeah, like I'd rather play it, since as I mostly play on the campaign, to actually have the haptic feedback and stuff, and the hard trigger, like the what's it called, the sensitive trigger, where they hardly have to pull it and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. I think the experience with the controller, my friend, it's that's the biggest surprise for me. But like you were saying, yeah, the controller is really cool.
What about you, Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I die all the time in COD multiplayer, so I just gave up.
That's part of
We
it.
need a
Man.
beginners league. Like, can we just have like levels 1 to 10 start off first? You know, before I get annihilated by a level 200 and something. You know. Yeah, I just gave up on multiplayer. It wasn't worth it. To be sent to the gulag at 5 times in the game, you know. Yeah.
Sent the young lad back to his corner. That's what happened.
Exactly,
Yo,
right?
then me and you should try to go if we can do a co-op like online for the story, bro. Actually, I'm very interested in actually doing that.
I'll do the story. I like the story.
Stories really cool, man. COD stories are so underrated, bro.
I don't die all the time in the story. I enjoy the story.
Anyone has tried Vanguard yet? Because reviews haven't been really good. You're interested?
No? Well, I am interested. I am, okay. But I don't know. Maybe because of the online portions, maybe not what people want, but like at least I want to try the story. I don't know. For
sure. So. The thing with Call of Duty games I've noticed is that obviously I'm not playing online. A lot of times I would be with you guys. Either we're doing it in a deathmatch scenario or we're playing the story.
Yeah, free for all. Yeah,
free for all. Exactly. Thank you. But when it comes to the new stuff that's been coming out, like Vanguard and so forth, these games. Okay, Vanguard's different because it just came out, but these games never drop in price. I don't understand. It's like Nintendo games. They never go on sale.
They know it will sell. They know people will be on it because like also 100%. The Twitch portion and like the online competitive portion of it, right? It's just too much of a staple. They don't have to drop the price because of that sense.
And how massive they've gone.
Also the supply and demand as well. If you just look at how many people want a PS5 versus people who have it, like you can tell these guys are probably going to get games.
It's been like they recently announced because of the semiconductor shortage that PlayStation has projected that they're going to sell 10 million less units now. So the shortage is going to continue all the way through now mid 2022 to even potentially pass it. Because all the games that have been getting delayed this year are all pushed up to 2022. So either the early fiscal cycle or later on, right? So let's see how happens.
I never actually like made the connection, but like this would actually affect game studios' actual desire to push out games when there's no actual like when the potential amount of people to be buying it is just less because of the console shortage and the semiconductor shortage to actually pump out the consoles. They'd be putting out games with there's fewer people to actually buy the games anyways.
So that's
I never
the reason.
Actually thought of that.
So see, that's
what there's not that many games really that's actually really coming out all at once anyways.
No, shit. well, the games are the majority of the times they got delayed because of COVID, right? Because working conditions and stuff. But the games that they have been releasing are now cross-gen. So when you truly get that next-gen experience, how long it's going to take, that's different. Because on that note, let me highlight some of the games that are specifically out for PlayStation 5 or for Xbox Series X that's exclusive or are running next-gen features. So for PlayStation 5, we obviously have Demon's Souls, Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, and now Deathloop. And Deathloop is only a timed exclusive. It's going to end up releasing everywhere. But whereas Xbox, you have Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. Otherwise, majority of the stuff that they're running on is just third party, or Ori and the Will of the Wisp was the only other exception, but that in itself too, right? Like that's that multi-plat now. So majority of the games this year that were slated have been pushed to 2022. not a lot of games that are taking advantage of the DualSense or exclusive features. So it really makes you wonder how long this generation is going to last, because we are in the second year already. And 13.2 million is a lot higher than what it was for PS4.
Like I guess because I remember they were saying about how, like, I forgot which PS5 or which gen console, was it last gen or the gen before that? They're saying like, oh, this gen is going to be the shortest of the actual generation cycles, but I think this gen is going to be like one of the longest. I think PS4 was the longest, like compared to the other ones, right?
Not PS4, because they had a cycle refresh in the middle. PS3.
Yes, PS3.
2008
yeah, you're right.
to
PS3.
2013.
I think PS5 is going to be the
2006,
longest.
sorry, 2006
Yeah.
to 2013. But that
I
was
think
also because of
PS5
the economic. We had a recession and so forth. So they
But now
stretched out.
also you could bundle COVID in that, right? Not only the semiconductor shortage, right? But I wonder if the semiconductor shortage is because of COVID, right? I
Well,
think that's also
that,
part
and
of it.
also majority of them come from Taiwan, right? So there's a whole thing about that.
Big with
So-
that. Watch it get taken off.
So
No, we're not gonna mention that country's name. But yeah.
So we'll move on to the next topic, which is the features you like and dislike. Now, I know my majority of you guys mentioned the controller, but I'm going to start with Mr. Younglad himself, since he was the latest adopter out of all of us. Talk to me about what you like and dislike about this new next gen.
Well, overall, I like the console. I think it's definitely worth. I mean, the price is the price. It is what it is. But overall, I definitely think it's been worth it. I like
No,
it. I mean, there are.
I think we should let the audience know, since we're Canadian, exactly how much was it with taxes.
$720 with
I think
taxes.
mine was about. What did I get? I got the bundle with the 2 controllers, and I think it came out to $820 or something like that. It was a lot.
Yeah, $719.48 is what I paid for just the console and one controller.
Same as me.
Yeah,
Same as me.
with I think warranty, obviously, because first gen, you never know what's going to end up happening.
But I found, definitely enjoyed it. The graphics with a 4K TV is amazing, especially with some of the games I've got. Like, I think the first day I got it, I set to download Red Dead 2. I believe was the first game I tried on it. I mean, while I was waiting for Red Dead to download, I was playing that free one that they give you to test
Astro's
out the
Playroom?
controller. That's it.
Yes.
So I was messing around on that, trying out the controller, seeing what the feedback was like while I waited for a decent game to download and install. So yeah, the first game I tried was Red Dead. Having that in 4K for the first time was gorgeous. But overall, I found there's just odd small issues, which I can see them fixing later on. It's just small things that bug me. So like the home screen, you can't personalize. I have all these themes I've downloaded over the years, all like the things that come in bundles and that kind of stuff with different games, and they're all kind of useless now. Like, I don't know why they didn't, like, I get the whole changing the home screen to make it fresh and new and that kind of stuff, but at least allow us to personalize it. Like, it's a small thing, but yeah, I miss having a personalized home screen with, the background and the music and everything else like that.
Dynamic themes.
Yeah, the dynamic themes. And then just the lack of games that I found is, like, now it's becoming a little better. There are some, more games, but like you said, like, there's hardly any next gen specific games. It's all crossplay. Like, even like the new Call of Duties, it's all, it's one price if you're buying it for a PS4, but then it's a higher price if you're buying the next gen bundle for PS4 and 5, which I don't understand, because why would you buy a bundle for both? Because if you have a PS5, you don't have a PS4. I don't know anyone that's kept their old gen console and is playing that every now and again compared to.
I will tell you
console.
the reason afterwards. We'll come to that, but I touch base because I have a lot to say about this. But yes,
and then found
Farhad
It's been
knows.
good for some old games, like Red Dead, for example. But for other games, I found like the updates that they've released just wasn't what I was expecting. Like they're still waiting on a few other games that have a PS5, like a next gen update. But I was super excited for The Last of Us 2 when that update came out.
No
And the
haptic
graphics on that,
feedback.
like, yeah, graphics look great, but there's no haptic feedback. As I found that's been a common theme for a lot of updates. I guess just updating graphics would be a lot easier than changing the whole programming to make the controller do more. I guess that takes a lot more work and time and effort. And upgrading the graphics is maybe slightly easier for a game
Usual,
developer
yeah.
to do. But like, yeah, like The Last of Us 2, and there's been a few other updates that there's no haptic feedback, and it's just really disappointing. But definitely, and I found for games that do have haptic feedback, I know some people don't like the haptic feedback, or they turn it off, or they lower it. I personally think it should be stronger. Like right now, I'm playing Miles Morales, and you can definitely feel the haptic feedback, but I kind of wish to be a little stronger, like the triggers maybe push harder on, or the vibrations be a little stronger. And it's already, I
Apparently,
checked all the settings, it's all maxed out, so I don't know.
Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, I heard, are the two games that have utilized it to the best of their abilities, and different guns feel different with the way the triggers work and so forth. And Rift Apart, just like you can feel when you shatter the dimension and you're going through different areas, you can feel it. But I completely agree with you, Rohan. Do you think that it's worth the early adoption? You went from PlayStation 3, sir, to PlayStation 5. You also
No,
waited.
it's actually even more. It's okay. My adoption in my experience might be a little bit more superficial or maybe more aesthetically oriented, but the experiences that I've been having, yeah, because but an interesting point, actually, what Daniel actually brought up, the personalization. I remember my PS3 and how I like to personalize it, and how I had like a different background and everything. It was a bleach background and everything. It was beautiful. It was awesome, right? Different themes. And I didn't realize, because I haven't been like on it, like in the actual features of the PS5, the actual like system of the PS5 that much. Either I've been directly hopping on to actually get my gaming in as quickly as I can, because of my schedule and job, but it's in here or there. But I mean, mostly just playing the game and not necessarily going into the actual PS5 and mucking around with it too much, right? The fact that you can't actually personalize it, I didn't realize that. I did not actually know that. And that's actually a little disappointing to me. But I definitely see Sony a little down the road, like you said, Daniel, they're gonna like release some kind of update, and it's gonna cost a little bit of cash. It seems very rudimentary, and I really think it is, but it seems like it would be an opportunity lost for Sony to actually make that much more money. I'm not like chastising Sony and everything, right? They're a business, they're trying to make money, right? But it seems like PS3, you didn't have to pay to actually be able to like
Pay
online.
personalize it, right?
Well, no,
Right, so-
personalizing itself, I think they won't charge for that. But the
I
dynamic,
think they will. I think it's
Really?
just too. I think it's just too good of a opportunity, because like all the variety and all the stuff that you could actually
I
personalize
do
with the
get where
PS5
Rowan is
now.
coming
I think
from.
they'll do it.
Mm.
Like I get it because of the entire thing with their faceplates.
See,
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
Exactly.
but that's different when you're looking at software integration itself.
When
you're looking-
I think to them, the ability to make money is ability to make money. They're gonna do that with the faceplates. They're gonna do that with
I
actual
agree.
personalizing.
I agree in terms of selling the themes, but the ability to unlock it, I don't think they would do that, because that's just software integration. They've had it for PS3, PS4. Their competitions
I see
have
what
it.
you're saying, Flash.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like actually
Add
when
free
you actually
online.
unlock it and you can like actually get themes, they're probably gonna have it be sold on
Yeah.
the PlayStation
Yeah,
Store.
the dynamic
Oh, yeah, I
themes you
doubt there'll
occupy.
be-
Yeah. Yeah.
There won't be
okay.
any free ones like there is for
They may do
the
it
older
like the
consoles.
anniversary
Exactly.
ones. The anniversary ones might be the case, or the yearly update where you check like what you played and so forth. They may do things like that, but for ad,
Yeah, but like I did want to also mention
sorry.
a couple of things. So the fact that also, yeah, I went for PS3, but I went with PS3 from like 1080p PS3 experience, right? And yeah, like I'm just saying, like, if you could get your hands on a PS5, get it. But I would say, like, if you could also have the experience on a 4K TV, right? Freaking do that, man. It is so cool. Like, I think like the jump what I was that like the experiences I was having with PS4, which was mainly with you, Fies, but like mostly like that's where I was seeing most of like the actual PS4 gameplays, right? Was chilling with you a lot. Was like as like an amazing TV as your TV you had, right? When you actually plug in the PS5, right, on a 4K experience or even 8K sometimes, it's just wildly better. It's the jump that you were thinking that every next generation jump would have, but you really feel it from a PS4 to a PS5.
I agree. From PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, like the
really
the graphical fidelity and stuff, you notice it a little bit. It's not you really, but
What are you guys talking about? PS3 went from 720 to 1080 with massive lighting.
You didn't notice it as much on a 1080p screen. At least I didn't.
Yeah.
And I know Nathan, for example, didn't. So, but going from PS3 to PS4 Pro, you really noticed it because of the fact that not just the fact of lighting and stuff that how Theo has mentioned, but in terms of just the 2K upscaling and all that stuff that they were, the checkerboard that they were doing, you kind of noticed it. So from PS4 Pro to going to PS5, the 4K, yes, even though majority of the games that I'm playing, for example, is set up on performance mode rather than fidelity mode, because the 60 frames, but that's really where I'm noticing a huge difference. I'm noticing the SSDs and I'm noticing the 60 frames, but a stable 60 frames altogether, right? But Farhad, you sir, you tell me features that you're liking and disliking, and you had a PS4, jumped up to a PS5. You are an early adopter, but you're like me. We like to buy the consoles when they first come out and so forth, regardless of what the price is. But do you think that A, it's worth adopting early and with the changes and so forth? But B, what are the features you're liking and disliking? Your mic is muted.
I definitely think it's worth adopting early because especially if you're like a hardcore console gamer, you should definitely do it. I mean, like I play PC, I play everything honestly, but if you think it's like a good purchase, then definitely go for it. But definitely one like I do love, and I actually added this recently, this September I think, was you can customize the control panel. You know when you hold the home button and you can like kind of move stuff around, like the music and like maybe broadcasting into like a certain section where it's like, you know, better suits you. That I found really cool.
Yeah, the trophy integration now. That's
yeah,
been
the trophy
revamped
integration now. I like that they added a way to expand the storage from the crummy 825 gigabytes.
Yes.
Wait, have they actually like released? Wait, I thought I heard like they recently actually released the expansion of the SSD expansion for the PS5.
Yeah, so you can get it from third party. You can get it from third party. Right? It's new. The M2 drives or NVMe.
M.2, right?
Yeah, they're still pretty expensive. They recommend you getting a heatsink, but you're looking at about a $240 purchase to $300, depending on how much you want to really jump up.
Oh, wait a bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna wait a bit too. But it's cool that that there's like something you can do instead of just getting like an external hard drive. Is that you can still upgrade the storage, but still have the same fast as shit PS5 SSD. And and I think one thing I do not like about it so far is that they added a 3D audio TV speaker to kind of, like, oh, here's our version. If you don't have speakers or, like the professional setup, here's our home version. Yeah, of like a sound bar. And once you try it, it's just like you can kind of hear it, but like everything just dips down, sound quality, like fucking just everything. Even like the audio itself is like it sounds way more quieter. So it's just like, is it worth sacrificing just to have a little bit of like, oh look, it's over there, or the overall audio quality? I think I'd prefer the audio quality.
Yeah, I think the 3D audio, the Tempest engine, it's fantastic, but you need to the headphones like these ones, for example.
Yeah, the headphone ones are good.
My God,
The headphones ones are
Yeah.
really good. It's just the TV speaker
no, yeah,
needs work.
You're talking about the headphones in terms of the PS5, the one that you have, Fires, right? Right. So like not like just like any one, like even if it's like a $200 headphones.
I haven't tested it out yet in any other headphones because I was lucky enough to get these, but just testing the 3D audio on the headphones,
the PlayStation
headphones.
Okay.
It's been fantastic, but
Okay,
I barely use it. I'm mainly using it on my soundbar, but yes, it hasn't been that. But I see but I see what you're talking about, Farhad. From just the TV speakers itself, yeah, losing the ability of actually hearing everything properly. And just saying, hey, yeah, it's the helicopter's going from here, or this is what's happening. In horror games, it's a different vibe, right? But I hear what you're saying.
Horror games, they usually recommend headphones anyways, I think.
Right, because it already does that.
Yeah.
I use the 3D audio actually to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so you could actually hear where the bird is flying by and so forth, where the foxes are, and it was kind of it was cool. The novelty wore off extremely fast, but majority of the time the reason why I was using it is because Angie was working nights, so when she was sleeping, I would put on headphones and play it that way. Theo, you haven't made the jump yet. You haven't adopted any of the new consoles. You're holding off for a bit, but you've done research. You've seen what it is. What are you excited about once you get them? And when are you planning on updating?
I was about to ask him that.
For me, consoles is usually the kicking factor is the games, right? It's 5 exclusives that I cannot use on computers. So right now, the only game that I'm interested in that is exclusive is probably Returnal, just for how well they use the haptic feedback. Like that should be an experience. So while you guys were all talking about how the new consoles benefited you, I'll just say how you guys adopting it early indirectly benefited me. It's like this. So I think I was the only one that played Final Fantasy 14 on an SSD before. And while Fies and Daniel used to play it on PS4, Furhat and I used to wait over 30 seconds for these two late bastards to load in everywhere. They teleport from the house to 6 meters away, 30 seconds. They teleport into a dungeon, 30 seconds.
So true.
Out of a dungeon, 30 seconds. So
all those 30 seconds add up, man. 30 seconds of my life I'll never get back. Damn you bastards.
I've forgotten about those loading screens.
Right?
It's been a while.
So long. It was so long.
It affects you so much you don't even think about, but like those things matter over time. You realize just like when you actually like talk about it, you realize like holy shit, that's stuff we don't actually have to worry about anymore. That's really amazing. That's actually a really cool thing.
Especially long.
Talking of loading screens though, one thing that bugs me is playing an older game where the loading screen gives you hints, and now it moves to I can't even read the hint.
Oh, that's so true.
Like,
that is so true.
Life is Strange. I was like, it gives you hints every time, and it's like, oh.
You have to try to be able to read it really quick before the loading screen ends.
Demon Souls, when for PlayStation 3, used to have helpful tips like use this item, blah 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 blah. They completely did it away with the helpful tips. It's just now a fog. And it's
what
for
are you
like
talking about? Demon Souls never had the tips. Demon Souls just had a fucking person and a name.
Didn't they have the tips?
I think that's
Sure,
true.
they had loading screen tips.
I swear they.
Demon Souls did not have tips.
Oh yeah, it didn't have just
my
the
apologies.
pictures.
My apologies. And right, the wallpaper looking things.
Yes,
the
okay.
couple
Yeah,
of
the
the
wallpapers.
NPCs.
Yeah,
Theo,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
100% correct. But yeah,
Yeah.
like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and all that stuff. So that I'm very excited about. What's
Bloodborne
gonna
didn't
happen?
even have tips at the beginning.
They added it
Bloodborne just had
afterwards, yeah. With the patch
Bloodborne
one
just
day.
had that long screen that told you you died. Now reflect on your actions for
Exactly.
the next 30 seconds.
Until they released that patch. I remember.
The Fires, was that the patch where, when they actually fixed Capra Demon?
Yes. That's Dark
And
Souls.
we were,
That's Dark
and
Souls.
we were so proud of ourselves that we beat the freaking Capra Demon before the freaking patch, yo, to make him not freaking
For
busted.
Dark Souls 1, yeah.
Oh my god.
But sorry, Theo,
Good
go
times.
ahead.
Good
Go ahead.
times.
The SSD you were saying.
Yeah, so basically, it indirectly benefited me since I don't have to wait for you guys anymore. That was kind of like the best part of you guys getting PS5 for me. Just for the fact
really
that, oh my god, they're in the loading screen again, aren't they?
It's true. It is true. Final Fantasy 14 on PS5, the loading times are absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely
It's
amazing.
so amazing that they're not there. They just outright fucked off.
So since I'm the one that actually has the Xbox and PlayStation 5, both of them, I've tested both of them out.
Actually, let me say something funny.
Sure.
Well, you guys transferred from the magnetic drive to the SSD of the PS5. I ran out of space on my SSD and transferred my game to a magnetic drive.
So now you
I
feel our
belong to
pain.
free.
Now you're
No.
the peasant.
At least I'm not feeling the PS4 pain.
That's
the
true.
difference.
That is true. That is true.
It's still a computer magnetic drive, so it's faster.
It's still faster. But yes, since I've tested out both consoles, a year later for PlayStation 5, like it is my primary console for all third-party games and first-party and so forth. But Xbox have really truly impressed me this generation. Like it feels like Phil Spencer is just ready. They were ready for this generation. And I know I talked in great detail with Farhad about this whenever we're shooting last week and so forth. But a few things that I just don't understand. PlayStation 5. Okay, good points. Obviously, we're talking about SSD and the DualSense. This controller is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But having said that, why the fuck does it not have native 2K resolution? When you plug in a PS5 to a monitor, you don't get native 2K. Any other consoles, like when you're looking at Xbox, does it. Xbox Series S does it. So it feels like such an overthought, because at the end of the day, when you're looking at how big Twitch is, how big YouTube gaming, you have a share button on your controller. So you are clearly promoting sharing content, but you don't give it to native 2K capability. And they've said that if people are asking, if people will go ahead and ask for it, they will end up doing it. But why wasn't that already put in? A lot of people are not going to play it on a TV. If they are going to be streaming it, they will be using a monitor. So that seems like a completely oversight in my eyes. Second, yes, the storage space did not make any goddamn sense to me. Like they waited such a long time to actually provide you with a decent choice to upgrade with the right speeds and so forth. The card layouts, guys, they're not utilized. It was one of those things when they were originally shown, we were like, oh, this is kind of neat. They will give you a little bit of tidbits on how to beat a boss or how close you are to a trophy. Or here is a YouTube guide video that you don't have to jump on your phone or tablet or anything like that to end up getting tips. You can just do it through the console. But how many of you guys have used the cards?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither.
Wait, I can pull
I
up
heard
tips
of
on the
this,
console instead
On
of
the
doing
console.
I didn't
Those
do
kind of
that.
tips
I never knew that was a
was
Is
thing.
that new things every day?
So
I
you see my
guess,
point? Like
yeah.
it's not properly integrated because they have left it to the publishers to end up doing it the way they want to. But the biggest thing that's like they would, if I were to rate this console, it would get easily 2 points deducted, is fucking smart delivery. I do not understand how Sony fucked this up so royally. Now, Daniel, you mentioned that, hey, if you have a PS5, why are you selling the PS4 and the PS5 combo together? Right? You know, that's not a thing on Xbox. It's one game. When you download a game, it just automatically optimizes it to the best version that's available. Did you know that if you have a save file on one console, it just automatically transfers over? You don't have to worry about whether your save progress is going to be available to you, your trophies, your achievements, like any of that stuff. None of that. We made fun of, I remember me and Farhad, when we were discussing this, we were like, smart delivery. What kind of like, word salad name that they put together? Delivering smart. Like, what does that even mean? We feel it. We fucking feel it now, because it is, you buy the game once and that's it. It's stuck. PlayStation, with the recent update, you can actually see which version you have installed. They didn't even have the capability before. Like now it says PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 with either the black or the white, but you didn't know which version you were playing. When you would download, it would download both versions. The reason why they still give you the opportunity is because you have to download your save file. So, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 7 remake. Let me give you a clue for that. Or Spider-Man before. You have to download the PS4 version. You have to upload your save file on the PS4 version. Then you have to download the PS5 version, and you have to download your save file for the PS4 version that you updated to the PS5 version, and then they'll sync it.
So basically, the backwards compatibility is super backwards.
It's super backwards. So what I don't understand is I did not have Spider-Man digitally, because I ended up giving away most of my games when I bought the PS5. So Daniel's the one that helped me out. He logged in, downloaded my save file, then uploaded it for me because he had both versions, and then I was able to transfer my save file for the Spider-Man PS5 version.
Well, that was when I still had my PS4, so I had the PS4 version of Spider-Man still, because it was a digital one. So I had to sign in as you on my console, upload your save file to your cloud, sign out, so you could then go on your PS5 to upload your own game.
Sorry, Theo, go ahead.
So if you sold all your shit before getting PS5, you were
screwed.
You're screwed. You're screwed. You lose all your save files. Doesn't matter if you upload it to the cloud and stuff, it just won't be compatible. Which, from PS3 to PS4, I would understand. But PS4 to PS5, it's the same architecture, so I don't understand that. At the same time, the games, man, like, this generation is going to be cross-gen all throughout. So you would think in your head that, okay, at least for 2 years, we would support this backwards compatibility feature. So should put something in place where you can upload and download and so forth, right? But no, instead they opted, and Rohan, you're absolutely right, Sony's gonna make money, right? They opted for director cut versions. So you're
okay. I see. Yeah.
So with Microsoft, you buy the game once, it works, optimized for the best console that you have. It'll say optimized for Series X and S right on top.
Auto text and everything. Right?
Exactly. But PlayStation 5, no. You want the features that you're missing? Oh, excellent. Ghost of Tsushima. Buy the update pack.
Fuck that.
What do you think EA is doing? What do you think Activision's doing? They'll charge you $10 extra.
They'll definitely do that, though. That's EA and Activision.
Well, $10 extra, right? You buy the PS5 version? Great. You get the PS4 version. If I'm buying the PS5 version, why do I need my PS4 version? Oh, for the saves.
Yeah, if you're buying it on PS5, why am I purchasing a PS4 version?
But there's a $10 caveat to it. I remember when they released I think it's NBA 2K21 maybe, with the Black Mamba edition, and that was it. Like, you had to get the Black Mamba edition for $109, because obviously we're Canadian, so things are really expensive. So when you were buying that version would give you both. So I don't understand where they fucked up. Like, optimization and so forth, personalization, I get that. That comes later on. PlayStation 4 didn't introduce dynamic themes since like 2 years later. right? But that's such a huge oversight, man, when it comes to you're promoting backwards capability, but you're not giving players that option. We're leaving
It's a
it
money
to
grab.
like that.
It's a money grab. It was an easy money grab. So of course they're gonna do it.
And moving
So for
past
games
it, sorry,
that
go ahead.
have the different versions or different consoles, is this just a PlayStation thing, or is it PlayStation and Xbox thing? Where
just a
like my
PlayStation-
issue is like I didn't mind paying the extra amount for the upgraded version of like Ghost or Death Stranding,
Right.
because it's less than the full price of a game. But for other games like the Assassin's Creeds or countless other games where
Yeah.
you already have the base game, but then they're selling the Ultimate Edition, Advanced Edition, etc. Why do I need to pay the full price of the entire game again?
That's it. That's it,
Is
right?
is that a Sony? Is that a PlayStation
It's a Sony thing.
or
It's a
is it
Sony. It's
universal?
an
Sony thing, man.
exclusive
Sony.
Sony thing. It's not an Xbox thing. Xbox, you buy the game once, and they give you the best version available for that game. So that's that.
It's not just best graphical version. It's literally the newest and
The
latest
newest with all the features and everything all together, just right off the bat. You buy it once, and that's it.
There's a lot of games that like it's not a DLC per se, but the Ultimate Editions or something will have additional missions or additional storylines and stuff like that. And it's like, I'd like to play that, but I'm not going to spend $100 and something on it. I'd like to give you an extra 20 and get the extra stuff because I already have the base game.
Like
I don't
have
need
an
to buy
upgrade
it
path
again.
if you're going to do this.
Yeah,
don't leave it to
because then I have
developers.
2 versions of the same game, and I mean, I digital buy most of my stuff these days, so now it just sits there in my library for nothing. Like I'm never going to touch it again if I already have the updated one, right?
Mm-hmm. For the Xbox side now, like the features that they're missing, controller innovation. Let's be real. Like the controller it's the same thing as what it was for Xbox One, right? But what kind of upset me was their UI. There's no real UI update. Yeah, there's no real UI update from Xbox One to Xbox Series X or S.
But a lot of advertisements.
But a lot of advertisements, right? You got to make that money. But they just recently updated the UI to the 4K version of it. So I was like, okay, you guys just released the 1080p version that you had before. But the flip side, they do offer native 2K support, but Game Pass, like, guys, Game Pass is the one thing that made me jump in to Xbox this series around, because last gen I actually sold my Xbox One because there were not a lot of games available and so forth. But Phil Spencer really turned it around. Back 4 Blood, available day one. Outriders, now Halo, Forza Horizon 5. Right? There's so many tons of indie titles that are just available right off the bat. And the new Japanese push that they have, over 100 games from the Japanese market that they will just end up launching day one on Xbox through Game Pass. I mean, we're just discussing how expensive games have gotten. So,
and all these games are available on Game Pass.
Right? So, like, me and Daniel were having a conversation recently about the Xbox Series X and S, and he was discussing it, how maybe the Series X is not something you want to look into, but the Series S he'll end up purchasing for Game Pass. So
there's a lot of games that, especially like from the Xbox side of things, that I haven't played in years. That, like, I have a 360 at home that it's still going, but it doesn't. The Xbox Live doesn't really work on it too much, and it's all discs for that. They don't even sell those in most game shops anymore. You have to find them online on like eBay and stuff like that, or Kijiji and things like that. But just the fact to have a console that has unlimited games almost for a subscription fee, like, I'm really surprised Sony doesn't have something similar.
I was actually skeptical about Microsoft releasing 2 versions, right? One GIMP version and one like full-blown version in the Xbox Series and then the Xbox Series S. I was like, really? It's just like, just like release a proper freaking console and just like have like proper games for it, right? Exclusive games. But considering what you guys are talking about, right, with the Game Pass, I guess it was actually rather smart of them to do it this way, because like, okay, you don't really see the benefit of actually having a full blown Xbox Series X, but like just for the opportunity to have all those available games to you through Game Pass, just go with the S, and thus it becomes a legitimate pathway, right, for you to actually play all those games. I realized I was like, holy shit,
Like
these
the
freaking guys at
SSD,
Microsoft,
yeah.
and they know what they're doing. They really fucking know.
SSD is still there. Like, yeah, you're not going to get the 4K resolution, but you'll get the up-res 4K resolution. You'll get 2K native and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, it's a very tempting price when you're looking at something that's going to be, what, $379 for Canadian for us. So I'm not. It's Xbox has their stuff together this time around, guys. Like with the Bethesda purchase as well.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. And last thing that they have going for them is xCloud. xCloud it actually works. Like, what was the Google Stadia? I had Stadia pre-ordered. I obviously didn't end up getting it. But xCloud, with the deal that they have with Samsung right now, where they want to end up having an app that just installs right on your computer, on your TV, if you have a smart TV, and you just get Game Pass through there, that would be fantastic. Small little, or you buy a small dongle, plug it in, and that's it, right? Like, they are really branching out this year, this time around. And if they end up making a platform like the way that they're saying it, I don't know.
Like, they really went on a different branch from the traditional console approach to their own thing with the mostly streaming as a service thing,
Like
which
a subscription
worked
route.
out surprisingly well. And I think it's also that they thought it out too with how they wanted to do it, how they wanted the delivery, how people would receive the delivery. It just it's like a kind of
It's what Microsoft does well.
like last
the
gen
service
remember
side of
the-
things.
physical and stuff. New gen delivery is
Mm.
digital, and they full out went with that.
Microsoft,
Remember
like,
the game showcase though, every single game at the end of it was, available on Game Pass, like every single one. All the new releases, every hit game, everything. It's
It makes it very
have to go buy
tempting.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes it very tempting.
Microsoft stuck to this generation. Like, they probably learned a lot from the Xbox One and all the debacles and that stuff, and decided, like, you know what, we do software and services well. What can we do with that in terms of delivering games right to people in the way they want? And they did it smartly, man. They did it super fucking smart. So
Basically.
So I have a question for all of you guys. Is Xbox Series X or S something that you guys would be interested in?
more and more,
100%.
like, really, even just talking about it now, guys, with you guys, Xbox Series S might be a legitimate, serious thing I've been considering, man.
What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I've definitely been considering it. Like, the one caveat I have is it's not 4K.
Yeah.
The Series S, because I'm not gonna go buy another full blown console. Like, I'm happy with the PS5 being my main console, and having something small like the Series S to stream games would be great. It's just spending all that money on a 4K television. But at least it'll upscale it, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, maybe in the sales, I'm hoping, because even though it's a smaller console and it is slightly cheaper, it's still expensive.
Yeah, $379.99, right? $400.
Plus tax for Canadians, and then $450 by the end of that probably.
I would like to see what games, if they have actually interesting, possibly maybe time exclusive will most likely be the case, but I do want to see what they do with Bethesda and what Bethesda
came out and said all the games from Bethesda going forward are going to be exclusive on Xbox, and Starfield is exclusive on Xbox day one on Day Pass. I think it's coming out for PS5 and stuff too, but that's what they're pushing for. But I need to know, Theo, what about you?
Game Pass is obviously the most tempting thing. I mean, I'm someone that as soon as I went not even into PS4, halfway through PS3, I already went digital.
Mhm.
I think it wasn't even 90% of my purchases. It was pretty much almost 100% of my games from the middle of the PS3 generation. Everything straight digital. PS4, I only have 2 physical games. Everything was digital. And Game Pass just lets me do everything without having to use disc or whatever, period. So Game Pass is obviously great. The actual console though, like it sounds nice, but I'm not. I mean, since Game Pass works on computer as well, it's hard to say like, do I want a computer or do I want a console? If I want convenience, yeah, for sure I would go for the console.
It's mini, it's portable, you can take it with you and so forth. So ends up being
Exactly.
yeah.
I could take it over to your place and easily start a LAN party or something.
Oh, 100%, right? That's what I was thinking too. But guys, last question. Hopes for the future. I'll actually go first for this time around. I know that they're going to make changes. This is probably going to be one of the most stretched out generations we may get because of how slow the adoption rate is. Technically, it's very high because they're selling a lot of consoles, but it's just they're not readily available because of COVID. But my biggest hope, guys, it's the exclusive games. Like I know Ragnarok is dropping, Horizon is dropping, Final Fantasy 16 is also dropping hopefully next year, 1 year exclusive and so forth. But my hope is that they get the right games and they optimize them for the next gen consoles. This means DualSense integration, a proper DualSense integration. For Xbox Series X, I think for Xbox in general, I think they're going to crush it with just their TGS announcements, all the stuff that they've said. We'll see what happens at Game Awards because Game Awards is teasing 40 to 50 new announcements altogether. So whether Xbox comes in swinging, PlayStation comes in swinging, like what happens. But 5 million is not that much. And I'm not going to fan any fanboy flame wars and console wars and stuff, video games all together. Like love and peace, guys. But
We're all gamers here.
Exactly, right? But competition is always good. And
Yeah.
Xbox is keeping
Always.
Sony on the toes because they bought Funimation, they bought Crunchyroll. If they were to merge anime streaming into their PlayStation Plus, and they're like, this is what we're promising with a new tier with PlayStation Now, they can end up becoming compatible with Game Pass. It's compatible in the sense like go toe
but
to toe.
The thing is, if they do that, if they like, the thing is, or if they lock it behind PS Plus. Remember the fiasco Xbox had before? How they were saying like they were going to lock Netflix behind
The DRM and yep,
Yep.
the Xbox
Now
One
it's-
stuff.
And everyone went to Sony because they didn't want that shit. And now if Sony starts doing that with their Crunchyrolls and stuff, locking it behind PS Plus, how bad would that be?
Yeah, PlayStation Plus goes down or your subscription relapses. There you go, right? But I'm saying create
So
different
the thing is,
tiers.
they did the thing that they were trying not to do, that they promised not to do last gen. Now they're just like, you know what? Now that we won, we're going to be the ones to do it.
When you are the market leader, yes, you control the conversation. Like everybody's been dying to see their new showcase, and they just waited till September. They're like, "Yeah, we're not doing E3 presentations. We're above and beyond that." But let's see. But what about you guys? What are your hopes and dreams? Let's start with Farhad.
I really hope that they make more official for the PS5, obviously, more official faceplates. I know that there's like a whole lot of like third party ones, but like let's be real, they don't use the same quality, and there's not like not as good as finesse.
That's because
PlayStation can do.
Sony keeps suing them. But
Yeah.
yes, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, even if like I could get my hands on a third party one, I wouldn't really want to use it because it's just like it's not the same as like what comes with it. And so I was really hoping that they might even make like special edition faceplates that come out with this game, and this is the only time you can get it, or like
Crazy Sony? They wouldn't do that. They would just sell the whole console as a special edition.
oh, that's
Do
true.
both.
Yeah, that's how they're
Do
gonna make more
both.
money.
Double dip. Sell the consoles to people that want to buy them. Sell the faceplates for people that want to pick up the faceplates. I mean, what's the harm in that, right?
Yeah.
Do limited stock.
But that's
But
what
imagine
I really
God of
hope.
War faceplates.
That would sell
God
out
of
immediately.
War. Immediately.
Yeah, they won't sell the faceplate. They just sell the faceplate bundled with the console. That's how you get the faceplate.
There's just so many things you could do with the faceplate that just
Yeah.
like it's such good marketing that they're not using.
I'm sure they will. They're just like holding off onto it, like slow. I think right now they're just focused on getting the consoles out.
I could imagine them doing the faceplate, having availability of faceplates when like the semiconductor shortage and like COVID goes away, and then they could just start pumping up the consoles. I think that's when they actually will like have the faceplates available, because then it's just printing money at that point, right?
Right. Anything else, Brad?
No, I think I can't really say anything about the Xbox Series X, but I'm definitely like, even after the new things that I was told today about it, I'm so interested in getting it. And also another thing about the Xbox Series X is you can go from game to game without turning it off.
Yes, quick resume. I actually have it on my notes. 6 games you can pause. PlayStation 5 has a switcher that they don't use. I don't know why they call it a switcher, but PlayStation for Xbox, quick resume. You can suspend 6 games. You can shut off the console completely. Like unplug, plug it back in. It saves on the cache, and it still logs you back in where you dropped off.
So I thought that was really like a sick thing about like the Xbox, that like, even though like if the PC can do the same thing, like it being able to have 6 games
PC
open.
can't do that.
Yeah, people can't do
I don't think PCs can
that.
save
No,
it.
yeah, I think it's just one. Can you stream 6 games from Game Pass?
I don't know.
Probably not,
I
right?
never tried it out. But the quick resume, I did try it out. It works.
Wow.
It works just as well as they're saying it does.
And that's actually
quick.
probably
It's
like
quick.
super, like it's immediate. It's like almost like the SSD from the PS5. Like it's just so immediate. And so that's kind of what I hope that PS5 maybe adopts in the future. It's kind of like just have a game switcher constantly going, so you can just switch between games without closing it.
Copy those features from Xbox. Xbox copies the controller.
Yeah, this is one big happy family.
There
Well,
you go, right?
come on.
Daniel, what about you?
I think the only way that you on PC that you can save like a running game while unplugging the PC itself is with a laptop. I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if the PC gets like booted off the power, you lose all the games will definitely get like shut down and lose all your progress.
Yeah, the only thing that keeps running is the clock.
yeah, the internal clock. Yeah.
What about you, Daniel?
I think like a lot of the things that we have issues with, it's just going to be fixed over time, like the personalization, the home screen, just things like that. Different game updates for next gen, like it'll just come in time. Like with the pandemic and everything else that's going on, game developers are just taking a little longer than before to churn things out. So we just have to be patient, really. But for things I'm looking forward to for next gen is definitely like some of the games that have been pushed forward. So like you guys all know this, but Horizon, I am so ready for that. I'm gonna jump on that the moment it gets released. And
Elden Ring. I'm gonna introduce you to the Dark Souls series. Elden Ring is I can't wait for Elden Ring. But yes, Forza, amazing.
Yeah.
Looks amazing so far.
But apart from that, I mean, I need to do some research to see if Xbox will ever do a 4K Series S. If it's a thing on their radar or not, I have no idea. I haven't really looked into it too much, and I've seen with like a lot of the sales that are coming up for like Black Friday and stuff. For now, anyway, there's not really any good sales. It's more like get a discount on a controller or a discount on some headphones. So far, I mean, Black Friday is coming up near the end of the month, and you got Boxing Day later on in the year, so there could be some good deals. Like, I don't need the whole controller combination combo thing. I just want console, one controller, and that's it. But we'll see. But definitely, hopefully, in the next couple of months, I want to try and get an Xbox and try out that side of gaming.
Ryan.
You guys pretty much, I have to say, covered the gamut of things that there is really to cover. and I suppose I've just been mulling over maybe the idea of like VR kind of stuff, right? So like I am interested because like I remember the experience I had with Half-Life Alex with you, if I was at your place, and how what a trip that was, right? And how like immersive that is, and when VR is like nowadays is done at a level that it could be done at, right? With what Valve did. I mean, like that was ridiculous, man. Like, was it like nominated for Game of the Year?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
was.
It was
It
right,
truly
and like,
deserved it.
yeah, and like, when was the last time a VR game, like a straight up VR game, was
I don't
nominated?
think it got nominated for Game of the Year, but it definitely got Game of the Year for VR.
It got nominated. It's for certain sites to give it. The overall for that year was Last of Us Part 2.
That one,
Yeah.
right. So like that that would be interesting because like when we were playing the VR, right, with Half-Life Alex, it didn't really have haptic feedback, did it? I don't remember that, right?
No.
So
It didn't
imagine
like really-
like
The PlayStation,
kind of
yes, the
stuff.
PlayStation VR 2, the hands, controller, sorry, not the hands, the controllers, they have haptic feedback.
Okay,
It's
right?
supposed to launch next year, so that's
Right. So yeah, man, I'm interested to see like what, not only just like like first person like experiences, which is the easiest way to do VR, right? But like what other type of games would be possible to do in VR, right? Like that's I'm interested. I'm very interested to see like how that kind of stuff with the haptic feedback and like dual senses and whatnot can be like in that type of setting, and different type of games that would be actually be able to be experienced through VR. I'm really interested in that. I'm really hopeful in that space.
No, this is fantastic. I'm talking about games. Farhat comes in with the faceplates. Daniel comes in with quick resumes another, and then Rohan, bam, VR. Like, I love it. That's so true. VR was completely an oversight. I didn't even think about like the for the future. And yeah, PS VR 2, man. It's looking great. Theo.
For me, it's pretty much the same thing as Rohan. VR and haptic feedback and DualSense. Like for VR, I mean, if you watch Dot Hack Sign, you've played the
Yes.
Dot Hack games, you can just imagine, oh my god, if we get a VR MMO, I would be in and
What would that be
I think
like?
there was one announced. I don't remember what it was called.
Well, the metaverse is what everyone's kind of jumping into right now. I know Ubisoft, they purchased Peter Jackson's studio to work on it, the metaverse. Amazon's already obviously working on it, and then Facebook's working on it now, the Meta, right? But they're stating that Jeff Keighley came out and said that he's hoping by 2026, in 5 years, most of the viewers will be viewing the Game Awards through a VR headset, so they feel like they're actually there. So those concerts and stuff, what we grew up seeing, is gonna occur. So video games, I'm sure it will happen very, very soon, guys.
Dude, we're getting hooked up to the Matrix like right now, bro.
That's it. Resurrection's
Holy
coming
shit,
out
bro.
this Christmas.
Right, we're all hooked up to the Matrix already.
Super, super excited for that. But this would do it for us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. This was a great conversation. And we will be back next week with a brand new topic to discuss. But for now, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. But until then, we are sending you nothing but positive vibes from your friends at Cast 5. Ciao.
See y'all on the flip side.